Hey, yeah, what's up? This is Disciple Marshall Occurrence. Rain back up in this anti-Illuminati all day, anti-telepathy all day, anti-America all day, and everybody with him, yeah. So basically, this message right here is going to be about, like I said, the campaign that I'm starting, the second one. I'm gonna keep them going, both of them going at the same time. Um, the 40 states allowing adults to have sex with children. That's gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep hitting different angles. The next angle I'm gonna hit, the next video probably after this one is about, as far as 40 states allowing adults to have sex with children, is gonna be about the physique of fully grown men and how that looks. I'm gonna use huge physiques. I'm gonna give you full blown physiques, like I told you in the other video with Shaq, and as an example, Mike Tyson as an example of physique that is entirely too big for a 16, 17-year-old child. They're just examples. There's nothing about them at all, anything at all wrong as far as what I'm talking about. But it shows you how a fully grown adult should not sexually be interacting. Their physiques are examples of how those they're examples of how those physiques should not be interacting with childlike, literally childlike physiques. They shouldn't be interacting. Those a huge body like Shaquille O'Neal interacting with a 16-year-old that probably has that could even possibly have a more frailer body than a 13-year-old. I say all that to say those examples show you how those adults and children should not be interacting. Even at 16 or 17, no, they should not be interacting. But this campaign basically, this video is about the second campaign about there are not enough jobs in America. There are not enough, period. It's nothing no one can do to change this. It's nothing probably anyone's going to do because it's getting worse. So basically, what has happened in the world history, well, as far as American history, what we have had here is just people living a lie. We living in this false world. We living in this Disney world, where there is no where reality is just subject to is subject to whatever people tell you. It's subject to what you believe, but and what people tell you. But my thing is this: it's all about manifestations. That's what reality is. Reality consists of manifestations. It consists of materializing things in real time. That's what reality is. It's materialized. It's not a thought. A thought is not reality. A thought can become reality. And it's a good thought that everybody could be working. It's a good thought that everybody could be employed, but it's not materializing. So how is it reality? How therefore is a thought reality? How? It's not. That shows you thoughts are not reality. It's thoughts that we wish everybody could be employed. We all, that's what Joe Biden's probably thinking about right now. Or maybe not. There's a lot of politicians that's out there somewhere thinking about him, just wishing that everyone would be employed, but it's only hopeful wishing. It's only thoughts, and what will that do? It will not. It's not reality. It will not manifest. It will not be your reality. It will do nothing for you. This shows you that thoughts alone are not reality. There's a lot of people that have in Washington that have good thoughts. They have thoughts, But those thoughts are not reality. They never come into reality. And if thoughts were reality, then why all these thoughts that these politicians have no interaction with you in your life? You don't see any manifestation of it. You don't see any of it going on in real time. So how is it reality? It's not reality. Therefore, thoughts are not reality. Thoughts are not reality. So you have a lot of people that talk about, well, everybody could be working, it'll be a good world. But it's never going to be reality. It's just a thought. It's just a thought. It's not reality. There's no manifestation of it. There's nothing you can see that says, here it is. There's nothing literally you can see. There's no materialization of this. Okay? So, I say all that to say, when it comes to all this hopeful wishing, all these thoughts about employment, this stimulating the economy, what is actually manifesting? Let's look at what is manifesting. Let's look at what is materializing. Let's look at what is actually substance that you can point to. And that's where we have the problem. Nothing's manifesting. Nothing's materializing. Just a lot of people talking about jobs. A lot of people talking about what could be. A lot of people talking about the world would be a better place, but nothing is materializing. As far as what they talking about. And this is where we have to mature as human beings when we see the government in office X amount of time. You see these politicians and presidents in the office of X amount of time, and nothing is materializing. Nothing is manifesting. So all the stuff they sitting up there telling you, you don't see it. It's just thoughts. It's not a reality. And that's where you should have the problem, folks. Long enough in America, long enough in this community called America, we've seen nothing manifest. Racism's still going on. All these hopeful thoughts, all these well wishes, and even fake love. You don't see no manifestations of hate, racism, real racism with actions. You don't see it ceasing to exist. In this case, you want to see it go away. But you don't see the manifestation of that, do you? You don't see that. What you see is prolonged racism, sophisticated racism, racism by law. That's what you see. See, that's what racism did. Racism did nothing but sophisticate and become laws. So instead of saying, I'm going to get you, nigger, I'm going to send the law after you. I'm going to send the law after you to get you. I'm going to send laws that go after you to get your life, to get your finances, to get your residence, to put you in a bad residence. I'm going to put all these laws out here to destroy you. That's what these racist people do. That's real racism. Okay? So now that we smell blood in 2022, it's not like how we used to talk and how all this other stuff being said, all these leaders been talking for years. But now we smell blood when we see the whole country in the state that it's in. I'm just calling it what it is. We smell blood. It's one thing to be saying this and that and the third, you don't see nothing going on to the people that have power, but now you see they struggling. So we in a different time, folks. And what you need to do, I'll tell you what you need to do. You need to stop acting like you and Mass are sick. Yeah, me and Mass are sick. Me and Mass are sick with COVID-19, huh? Me and Mass are sick. No, they're sick. Not me. Huh. I've never had COVID. Okay? Don't plan on getting it. Fully vaccinated. I'm not sick. It's not, in other words, it's not my problem. Be 100. You gotta be 100, man. Because, see, I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen, especially with black people. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. You gonna regret not opposing this country in the COVID-19 era time. And you're gonna be sitting up there talking about, well, we should have opposed them when they was like that. We should have rallied together, and we should have made our demands, had our demands met. We should have been talking about what's really going on out here and how we want things to change. We should have been doing all of that while COVID-19 was going on out here. We should have been doing all of that then. And then you're going to wait 10, 15 years and realize you missed the golden opportunity to let this empire fall and let another one rise up. Let it fall, man. Just let it go. Just let it go. Just let it happen. Stop saying you and Mass are sick. Just let him fall. For all he's done to you, for all he's been doing to you, let's just see what happens after this. Let's just see what takes place after this falls. And guess what? Somebody like me, I'd rather just go ahead and take my chances. I'd rather just take my chances and see what happens after this fall. Because it ain't for you. It may be for other races, but black man, it ain't for you. People of African descent, it's not for you. It may be for Mexicans. They got nice Mexican communities, but it ain't for you. So won't you just let it fall? Just let it fall. Let it collapse, and let's see what happens after that. But you up there talking about me and Mass are sick. That's what you're doing. So, back to my lecture at hand. They can't employ you at all times. This is another reason to let it fall. They can't employ you at all times. At the same time, I mean. All of you at one time. They can't employ you all at one time, right? So this is more, like I said, this is more reason to let it go ahead and fall. And then you can possibly rebuild, make something better, make something where all people can be employed. This is possible. It is possible for all people to be employed. And this is where what you need to be thinking about. While they sitting up there talking about, well, basically insinuating that it would be a better world if everybody would be employed. All people can be employed. There's all type of jobs you can make. You can make all type of satellite jobs on top of jobs. Let's not be slow here. Let's not be slow here, stupid here. Okay? These jobs don't necessarily have to mean the world to anybody. It doesn't have to mean the world to the person that's working it. Long as they're working and making a living wage in order to get themselves off the street. As long as they're doing that, as long as that's the case, then what we do is we employ everyone, and everyone is able to at least eat and lay their head somewhere safe. But these people are not willing to make job openings. They're not willing to make enough job openings for you to be able to all work at one time. Because the bottom line is, man, just like you got them doing construction all the time, they need to go do some construction and open up opportunities for everyone in this country. You got to dig, trailblaze. You got to dig some kind of new land, some kind of new plot. You got to get some new situation going. You got to get some new foundation and build a new foundation. You got to do that. You can't just keep looking at this same foundation like a house, looking at this same foundation, knowing you can't build, knowing ain't nothing going to come out of it. You know, out of the foundation that you have, as far as the economy, we know in 2022 that all people cannot be employed at the same time. We know that. So why is you standing there gawking and looking at the same foundation like something else is going to happen, which is a form of insanity? We're starting to practice insanity. You know, everybody ain't gonna be employed out of this. You know, it ain't even nowhere near it. So why don't you just go start plowing and digging and making situations? Just for people to work. Just for people to work and make money. And what I feel is they need to take some of these interstate and all these woods, all this vegetation by the interstates all up and down in the South, all across the country. They need to take all of that, them woods and all them places, and make housing for people. This country has so much unembarked woodland that could be housing that is ridiculous. Right by the interstate, while y'all ignoring all of that land, you need to be thinking, look at all those woods. And they talking about housing this, ain't enough housing and all of this. You got all those woods by the interstate. Why can't there be housing? Explain to me why. Explain to me why they can't explain to you why. All of it ain't land that's already spoken for. And a lot of y'all ain't even thought about that. But the bottom line here is basically they cannot employ you all at one time. They can't employ you. So that means everyone cannot work. Literally, everyone can work. I would even say from 15, 15 is the earliest age you can work, up into what? Some people work up into their 70s. So from 15 to 70, they can't employ all Americans from 15 to 70. I'm just saying 70, that's a good place to work too. Most Americans are working a little over, where they could be getting Social Security. They're still working. When they could be retiring, they're still working. A lot of people throughout their 60s. 60s used to be the age that people retire, not now. Most that age now, where people want to retire for good, is 70. I would say that's a good estimate. So 15 to 70, man, they can't employ everybody. They can't employ everybody. So while all these politicians are talking, look at them. Look at them now now that you know this. Look at all the stuff they be saying. Donald Trump, Joe Biden. Look at all the stuff they saying. And they look at you right in the face, yap, but they can't employ everybody at one time. They can't employ everybody at one time. So what is really the defining image or the defining movement and activity of America? knowing you can't define everyone. Knowing that you can't employ everyone. What is the defining image? What is the movement? What is it supposed to look like when I look at the full entire community of America? What am I supposed to be looking at? It's employment wise, money wise, residential wise, because it takes money to get a residence, which obviously I have to work to get the money. So what am I looking at when I look at this community? Based on that information, what are we looking at? What are we looking at is, like I said, a team, a basketball team, basic football team, that they've decided that these are the people that, as far as the workplace or the workforce, these are the people that they have decided is employable. I'm gonna have to touch on that too. Employable versus unemployable. There should be no such thing as unemployable. Because I figure in other countries, they don't care nothing about you socially fitting in. Can you imagine in all these other countries where people work in like fields and in all these factories, you think they care about fitting in? You think they care about how you look? Those employers are most likely in other countries just going to employ you based on you doing the workload, period. They don't care how. Probably sometimes, man, they probably have problems with age. They throw anybody in there. They just want to make sure you get the work done. America, you got to work. Not only do you have to be capable of doing what they're asking you to do, you have to also be capable of socially at many times. I would say 45% of the times you got to be able to fit in socially in the social environment in the workplace that you're applying for. If you don't fit in there, for whatever reason, if you're not a fit for the social environment, you might not get the job. And on top of all of that, they still don't have enough jobs for you all. Even if they decided none of that matters, they still don't have enough openings. Even if they decided they're not going to judge you or discriminate, it still is not enough jobs today, folks. So what are we supposed to do today, folks? Okay? What are we supposed to do? I'm tired of people playing this Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Disneyland and here in America. It's Disney World telling you everybody can be employed. They ain't even got enough jobs today. Not tomorrow, not 10, 15 years. Right now, here and now, if all homeless people went towards the workforce, it wouldn't be enough openings. So all these homeless people that people hate, you can't even take all of them and go send them and get a job. There's not enough jobs. There's not enough jobs, folks. I gotta keep saying this. That's why this is a campaign too, because I don't think you believe me. I think you think if everybody apply themselves hard enough, everybody be working. No. I'm telling you, no. There are not enough jobs. Ain't nothing you can say. Yeah, well, wishing ain't gonna do it. And that's what I gotta get you out of. Non-tangible versus tangible. It's no way. You can have all the good thoughts in the world, but if it's not tangible, it's not reality. You can show us all the progress in the world. You could talk about adding all these jobs, but at the end of the day, if you don't have enough jobs for all Americans, what are we doing? What are we doing? And what do they supposed to do? Sit out in the corner? And then see what I'm saying? It puts them in the same position they in now. It doesn't change nothing. Actually, nothing changes when reality is understood. In this situation, nothing changes. They go right back out to the streets. It's because there are not enough jobs. So you just pull them to the side talking about getting a job. And then they go right back under the bridge when you both realize and conclude there ain't enough jobs for everybody. They go right back where they was at. And unfortunately, it's getting worse now. Who knows how bad this is about to get? With COVID, these closing of stores and closing of this and that, it's really going to be what I'm saying, which is everybody can now have a job at one time in America. And so what do those people, my question to America, or the American government, what are those people supposed to do meanwhile? If they don't have family, which is the first thing you're going to say, they don't have friends they could depend on, they don't have anyone they know that can give them a place to stay, what are they supposed to do? I'm talking about all across the world. I mean the country. All across the country, what are they supposed to do? How long, even with holding a holding position, waiting to get a job, putting in applications and all of that, it still is not enough jobs. So all you're doing is waiting for someone to quit or to get fired. That's it. That's what they're doing in the holding position.